Okay, so how do we stay consistent across two homes? The first and easiest one, if you have a willing co-parent, is to try to have a very similar schedule. So, our child, when they come home from school, it's snack time and some downtime, then homework, then TV. Bedtime's always at the same time in both homes, and it's relatively the same. So the child, even though they might be in a different home, they know the routine, and the routine is the same. You both have the same rules. You have the same reward system. You're talking to each other about the rewards that are happening. You're adhering to your parenting agreement, and you're having regular meetings about your child. This one's really challenging because a lot of times we don't like this other person. That's why we divorce them. I don't want to be meeting with them. But especially for, healthily managing your child's ADHD, you just might have to have a monthly meeting or a biannual meeting where you're checking in with each other around making sure that you're consistently co-parenting. If a meeting is out of the question, then, email check-ins or text check-ins that are kept very non-emotional and professional, just to make sure that you're keeping that consistency. And then you might also try to agree on transition routines and flexible transitions. So what do I mean by that? Well, let's say you transition Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. at the parking lot of Target. Well, you both know, as this child's parent, that getting this little bean out of bed in the mornings, especially on a Saturday, is next to impossible. And then getting them dressed and out the door is also next to impossible. So getting anywhere by 9 a.m. might be really challenging. And so potentially what you agree is, we're shooting for 9 a.m. We'll text when we're on our way out the door, so that parent B is not sitting in the parking lot of Target getting increasingly angry because you're late every single time. But instead it's an understanding that ADHD might really be impacting our ability to get to that transition on time. And so we're going to be flexible about it. A lot of parents also have questions around how to make transitions easier for their children. One of the things that I like to recommend is that you establish a ritual around the transition, especially for younger children. What I mean by that is, for example, your child knows that whenever parent A picks them up, parent A is going to greet them in the same way. It's going to be a pat on the head and a kiss on the cheek and then a hug, and then we sing the same song, and then we read the same book, or we go to the same restaurant, or we get an ice cream at the same place, or whatever it is that the child can always count on. This is what happens when I transition to parent A. Parent B can have their own little ritual. It doesn't have to be the same ritual that parent A has, but if both parents have this sort of ritual that the child can count on, it can be very comforting. And then the use of a shared calendar, especially if you have a younger child, then I would recommend having a big visual representation of that calendar somewhere in your home, that with pictures of, this is when you're at parent A's house, this is when you're at parent B's house, with colored stickies or little pictures of homes or whatever it is that helps your child visualize time. Kids with ADHD are very time challenged in really understanding a sense of time. And so having a visual representation of that time can often help to quell anxiety around, where am I going? What am I doing? When am I going there? I highly recommend, if you're not already doing so, that you adopt some type of digital organization tool or app that you both as co-parents share an account over and use as your way of communicating and of keeping a shared calendar. There are a ton of really great options out there. If you don't know what they are, I have a slide with my email address. Feel free to email me and I can send you a list of the ones that I recommend. We all know the dreaded backpack with kids with ADHD. It's like a black hole. So to the degree that you can have some type of organization routine that is mimicked by the other parent, that will also help with your child being able to keep track of their items. And it might extend from their backpack to their, duffel bag or whatever they take back and forth between homes. I highly recommend that you have, a wardrobe in your home and a wardrobe in the other home, and that you're really flexible about the clothes that go back and forth. I've mediated parents where they, it's the conflict is around, my mother bought a winter coat and it went to your house and I've never seen it again. Just recognizing that your children's clothing is their clothing. And even though your mother might have gotten them, a magic sweater that she crocheted, if it winds up in the other parent's home, it still belongs to your child and everything's okay. You might want to consider, if you don't use a digital app, to have something like a home-to-home folder that stays in the backpack, or a notebook where you communicate with the other parent, and it's or even a communication book where the child is invited to see what's written in there. So you have to, be somewhat mindful about what's written. You might want to consider, having laminated lists that go into the backpack, or color-coded tags. Again, Attitude has really great resources if organization is a challenge, but really being mindful about the fact that your child is going back and forth, and keeping track of things is going to be an issue. So anything that you can do consistently with the other parent to keep track of those things for your child and scaffold that for as long as you can will be helpful for your child. Medications, you're going to have to determine whether you are the type of family that are able to have the medications travel back and forth with your children, or maybe you need to split them up and have a quantity available in both homes, because you don't want your child to be without their medication if they take it. And then if you're communicating with doctors, teachers, therapists, always CC the other parent. An informed co-parent is only going to be beneficial for your child.